Calendar says September, cool crisp air, high blue sky, buses on the road, students back to school. That means only one thing, NHIAA Division II football here, Stadium Field in Milford. Hello everybody, Kevin St. Onge along with Chris Gentry on Granite Town Media's presentation of Milford Spartan Football 2024. You know, 2023 was a tough year for the Spartans. They went 3-6. 4 of those 6 losses were by more than 29 points. No signature wins in that season. They were out of the playoffs by the 4th week. For 2024, most experts put Milford in the middle of the pack, 4th or 5th in an 8-team West Conference. What does Spartan Nation have to look forward to this season? Well, how about an untested, brand new sophomore quarterback? How about only 7 returning seniors? Lots of new faces on the Spartan sideline. But Granite Town Media will be there for all the action here at Spartan Stadium. Tune in on the platforms of GTM. Introducing the first new head coach they've had in 22 years. His name is Max Morelli, a 2008 Milford High School graduate. He was a Spartan assistant for the last 5 years, grew up here in town, and played for his predecessor, the legendary one, Keith Jones. His playing days here at Milford, he was a linebacker and running back. Started his coaching career in 2014, 2 years at Nashua North as an assistant. 2016, he moved over to Bishop Girton as an assistant, and then in 2018 went to Bedford, Mass for a year before joining the Spartan program in 2019. He's been with the program, as I said, for 5 years, working in the last couple seasons primarily with the defense. Let's say hello to the newest head coach in Spartan history, Max Morelli. You may be wondering why I'm wearing this number 1 jersey. It's because we're celebrating the first year of the Max Morelli era here at Milford Spartan Stadium. Brand new head coach of the Milford Spartans, 22 years in the making since the last time Milford had a new head coach. You follow the legendary one, Keith Jones, a coach that you played for in 2008. Coach Morelli, how does it feel?
You know, it's certainly quite an honor to take over a program that I played for and that has so much respect around the state. You know, I'm honored to follow in Keith Jones' footsteps, so it's certainly a lot to live up to, but looking forward to the challenge. We're
going to come back to football in a second, but Coach, talk to us a little bit about yourself, your family. I understand you grew up here in Milford, you played here. What does it mean to you and your family to be able to take on this position?
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly proud of it from my own perspective. I think that my parents and my family feel the same. You know, we're certainly a football family. Grew up around it, and you know, it was a huge part of my life growing up. My parents still come and watch all the games. My wife comes to all the games and brings our 1-year-old to them. So, you know, there's a lot of family involvement there, and you know, we're all very excited about it. But you know, it's just cool to be able to represent the town that I grew up in, that I have so many connections to, and that my family has so many connections to. You
mentioned that this is a family affair, Coach. I've noticed that on your roster of coaches, a lot of Coach Jones's assistant coaches have stuck with the program, a program you've been with for 5 years. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, we're all very close and tight-knit. You know, and I don't think I would have taken this position if they weren't going to be on board with it. I think that's a big part of it, just from, I mean, obviously it helps to have that football continuity, but just in general having the, you know, the friendship and the bonds that we have, I think it would have been hard to take this position and remain on staff here without those guys being on board. So,
alumni reaction to your appointment, any at all?
Yeah, I mean, certainly a lot of the people that I know that I went to school with and played with certainly reached out. It was, you know, it was very touching, and I was very honored that they did that. I got texts and phone calls and emails from a whole bunch of people that I've met over and played with and coached with and had relationships over my football lifespan. So that was a really nice.
How do you define success in your first year of coaching?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's you know, certainly a very interesting question. To me, it has a lot less to do with, I guess, the results. We certainly want to win and win at the highest capacity that we can. But I think for us, it's really more about making sure that the kids in the program represent our football team, the school, the town in a way that we can all be proud of. We want them to be good people, good classmates, good members of society and the community. That's first and foremost, and again, that's something that I know that Coach Jones had really made a point of in his time here, and I certainly don't want that to dip, and would like to continue to improve in any way that we can. So that would be the first thing. And then in terms of football, I want the kids to play hard. I want us to be physical, and I want us to come out of the season having learned more about the game of football than they did coming into it. And I think that those are kind of our benchmarks in terms of what we're looking for first-year success.
So Keith Jones roamed these sidelines for 22 years. You're going to take over that spot here on the sidelines. Let's talk about this 2024 season, your assessment of the team in the preseason, and I understand you're installing a new offense for the Spartans as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've had the fortune of coaching with an awful lot of really good coaches over the years and a bunch of different systems and a bunch of different styles. So I was able to kind of pick things that I liked from them and things that I had learned from a whole bunch of different people at different schools. So kind of tried to blend that together into something that I like, that I'm comfortable and with coaching and calling, that I think's the most challenging to defend. So that's kind of where we're going with that. In terms of the
new coach, new offense, new quarterback as well this year. Brady O'Connor is a sophomore. My understanding is he's kind of the leader in the clubhouse right now for that starting spot at quarterback. Tell us a little bit about Brady.
Yeah, he played a fair amount for us last year, kind of in some specialty packages and stuff, especially towards the end of the year. Really love having him in the program. We're very fortunate, and not just him. There's a lot of kids that fall into this category right now as we take over. There's just a lot of kids who are really interested in the sport of football and extremely committed to it. I'd say that he's kind of one of the leaders in that regard.
Even as a sophomore?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't think that we talk a lot about it. Doesn't matter, what your kind of level of seniority is. You can be a leader, you can be extra committed, and you can kind of check all those boxes. So it doesn't matter if we have kids that we're incoming freshmen that were in here in the off season, every day in the weight room and all that. So it's we're certainly feel very fortunate that we have kids that are invested like that. It makes it funner to coach for sure. But yeah, I mean, he's doing a great job. He's super invested in football. He clearly really loves it. So
now in 2008, we understand you were a linebacker for these Spartans. You also played running back. What's your running back core looking like this year?
Hopefully better than when I was playing running back. I think that by default they probably will be. It's good. We got a lot of different guys who can touch the ball. We try to move guys around a little bit and highlight what they're good at. But we got a good mix. Kenny Bradford, Logan Chamberlain are two of the older guys that do pretty well for us, and Gavin Tessier's a sophomore. He's also carrying the rock. So I'll probably all see some action over the course of the year. I'm sure other guys will probably get in the mix a little bit.
How about those guys up front on both the offensive and defensive lines? Their names don't get called a lot on television or on otherwise, but as they go, so go your team. Tell us about 100%. Some players to watch on the line.
Yeah, I mean, our line's done a really nice job. They're very tight-knit, which is, I think, as someone who coaches the offensive line, something that I'm very, very excited about. Eli Gutierrez, Elijah Wales, Charlie Riley Curtis, all done really well on the offensive line. Ryan Lewis as well. Defensively, a lot of those same guys. James Butterfield getting in the mix. Joey Schitzler is a freshman. He's given us some good looks too. Might get in the mix a little bit over the course of the year. So we're pretty excited about the direction of that. We think that they're going to produce at a level that we haven't had the past few years. So I think that that's going to really help the team.
So preseason is winding down. Scrimmages have been played. You open on the road at Plymouth, perennial powerhouse. Doesn't matter what division they play in. Last year's Division II runner-up in the state of New Hampshire. Going on the road there, your first test, not only as a coach but with the team. What are your expectations?
Well, I mean, I think we need to make sure that we get off the bus and play. It's a long trip up there. It's certainly a tough place to play. I think they've lost 3 home games in the last 15 years or whatever. I mean, it's insane. They obviously do a tremendous job of being ready to go every year, regardless of the location, but certainly at home. So that's the first and foremost. We got to make sure when we get off the bus, we're ready to go. I think that we got to make sure that we can execute the things we're trying to execute, and let the chips fall where they may. It's certainly hard going into week 1. You kind of only have a little bit of gauge because you've only seen so many opponents at this point that you kind of scrimmaged against or whatever. So.
And they haven't seen you either. They haven't seen your offense. Right. They haven't seen this team.
Yeah, so we don't. It's you're going into week one as an unknown pretty much every year, but we certainly, it's a great challenge for us. I mean, I think that they're pretty overwhelming favorites to go really deep this year, if not, the favorite to win it. So we're going to have our hands full. We got to be ready to go. Bigger
picture, let's take a look at this West Conference in New Hampshire's Division II. You've got a couple of teams in there. Obviously Plymouth is on the east side, but you've got Souhegan, always a high-flying team.
Absolutely.
Always making runs in the playoffs. Pelham, have they lost to anybody in the last couple of years? I mean, they're always tough to play. That's kind of why the prognosticators have put this Milford team more in the middle of the pack in this 8-team conference. You agree with that?
Well, I mean, we haven't proven anything yet. I mean, I say to the kids every day, I thought we had a good practice today, but as soon as tomorrow comes, we're back at step zero. It doesn't mean anything, good or bad, So, I'll be honest with you, I don't really care too much where people put us. I can understand that they're going to have their opinions, that's fine, but we need to focus on us, and every day we got to worry about doing the best that we can do and controlling the things that we can control. So we're really focused right now, and I'm thinking about Plymouth, we're thinking about Plymouth, so that's what we got to deal with first, and we'll move on after that. But
a little unbalanced schedule in Division II with 8 teams in one conference, 9 in the other. As a result, you end up playing 2 teams in the Eastern Conference. Tough draw with Plymouth, obviously a perennial power, but you also picked up St. Thomas Aquinas, and they may have some down years, but even when they're down, they come in and they hit you in the mouth. Yeah. So tough draw in that respect?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you. There's a lot of really good teams over there. It's funny you mentioned that. I was looking through kind of just the schedules of teams today and getting a feel for kind of how things will, what we'll be looking at, places that will go scout and things like that. And there's really not a lot of easy draws across our entire division at all. I mean, a lot of programs, even ones that have been down the last few years, are looking like they're going to be up, this year. So I think it's going to be a really, really competitive Division II this year. And I got a ton of respect for Plymouth and a ton of respect for St. Thomas and what they've done over the last few years. Their kids certainly play super hard, so they'll be great challenges, but I'd probably feel like anyone we drew was going to be a challenge, no doubt.
Team goals for the season. Wrap it up with that. I know you talked a little earlier about your goals as a coach, but what are your primary goals for this team beyond wins and losses?
Yeah, I mean, I think that for us, like I said, I want our kids to make sure that we play hard every game, and when we play opponents, it's like they know, we just played Milford, and that's how we want to come into every game and go at every game. That they're aware that it was a game that was really challenging because we played hard and we did the things that we're supposed to do. And I think for us, having the mental toughness that regardless of circumstance, that we play a full 48 minutes every game, and then 2, not let little things negatively affect us, whether, we think it's a bad call or someone on the other team is trash talking or whatever that. We got to make sure we keep our focus and that we're achieving things at the highest level that we can achieve for 48 full minutes. And then, from there, I think the results will be exactly what they're supposed to be. Football kind of has a funny way of working out exactly how it should. So I think that's kind of what we're looking for.
Keith Jones was here for 22 years. Coach, do you see yourself doing this for 22 years?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It really puts in perspective, when you start thinking about how long that is and how much he was able to achieve. I was here a long, long time ago playing for him, and he was here well before me. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I would be certainly blessed and honored to be here for that long, but I think we'll take it. I'm taking it 1 week at a time right now. That's kind of my focus, so we'll see.
That's why I'm wearing the #1 jersey today. First year of the Max Morelli era. We're going to watch all the action here on Granite Town Media. Spartan Football coming your way 2024 NHIAA Division II. Coach, good luck to yourself this season and your players. Keep them healthy, and we'll see you on the field.